Welcome prospective students to Stellenbosch University. I am Dr. Marsha Lina Cleophas and the head of the Disability Unit. I'm going to speak to you a little bit about our Disability Unit, what it is that we do there, and give you some contact information. So the Disability Unit's ethos is to create an accessible environment that would holistically empower our students in both curricular and co-curricular spaces. We have a staff component of 6 people, with myself as the head of the office, and then we have our coordinator for disability support, we have our coordinator for disability inclusion, coordinator for marketing and training, and she will speak to you a bit later, Luigi Nicholas. And then we have 3 resource officers that primarily work with the adapting of texts for students that are print disabled. We have an administrator, and then of course our inclusion and student success life coach. And all of us work together to really look at how we can support you. We are spread over 2 buildings. So the one building is the building at 39 Victoria Street, and then the other building is on the 3rd floor at Umarga. And students can go there and get the needed support. We believe in a rich diversity, and we see that students see differently, they hear differently, move in different ways, process information differently, and also hear differently. So we really do respect the rich diversity of our student population. Some of the support that we do facilitate is that we do an orientation session at the start of the year for first year students or newcomer students. We facilitate assessment concessions, individual academic support, and then also look at accessibility on campus, and then training and awareness raising. And while we don't do all of this on ourselves, we do collaborate very strongly with the other departments on campus, because disability inclusion is about everyone and how they in their spaces do the support with students. So whether it's physical or in the classroom or assessments, that is all important. Our first year orientation takes place in a group format, or it can be individual, so you can have a one-on-one session with one of us, and then we are also part of the welcoming for first years, which happens in collaboration again with other departments on campus. Regarding assessment concessions, so some of you probably would have assessment concessions, or they call it accommodations at school where you are. And when you come to university, it is possible to continue with most of that, sometimes not all, because we do some things differently. So the information that we do have, does apply to all students, whether you're at Tygerberg, Stellenbosch, even the business school can also apply for concessions, which are mainly extra writing time, or they could be that you need your fonts to be adapted, or writing your exams in a separate venue. So it can take multiple forms. And we have a process where students apply online. So it's not automatic that when you come from school that it will be that you will receive the concessions. You have to apply afresh at the university. We do have contact details. You could contact concessions at Sun or disability at Sun. And then there are also telephone numbers, as you can see, Stellenbosch campus, the 021-8089-111 number. And then there's also the Tygerberg campus number, which is 021-938-9309. So it is a new application when you come to university, and also only once you are registered can you then actually raise the request for assessment concessions. So some of the other support that the disability unit is involved in to foster the full inclusion of students is that we then look at making reading material accessible. So this could be your reading material for class, it could be the PowerPoints, but also the assessment material like your tests and your quizzes and exams. We also will sit with you looking at appropriate assistive technologies, because as you know, the world is becoming more and more tech savvy, and which creates lots of opportunities for students to engage in technology. So we do that in liaison with Umarga, which is one of our computer user areas. We also look at liaising with residences. If you need specific support in residence, we look at what is possible. It could be, that you must have an accessible room. Maybe the toilets, the bathrooms have to be accessible to you. You could possibly be in a wheelchair, or blind students, which often would request accommodation close to their faculties. So we look at liaising with the residences about placement. Also liaising with the faculties that you will be in, if you need specific kind of support. So we look at how we can do that and talk about that together. We mentioned the reviewing of test and exam concessions applications. So if you're needing extra time, that's something that we can assist with. And then we also involve with workshops for staff and for students. And then we do have some students that use sign language interpreters, and those are our deaf students. So that is also possible. We don't organize it from the disability unit, but we work very closely with the language center for South African Sign Language interpreter. Accessibility on campus, this is an ongoing thing. As you can imagine, we have our buildings are in excess of 100 years old, many of them. And so our buildings are subject to heritage laws of the country. And so, but we constantly do strive to make our spaces accessible. So for example, some examples that you'll see is the library, where you have the white lines on the stairs, and that really helps to make the stairs visible, for people who might have depth perception challenges or visual challenges. So that is about making it more accessible for staff and for students. You will see tactile paving in the middle picture, and that's really to guide people who are blind. It guides you along pathways. And then in the end is a sort of a typical example of one of our older buildings, and how we constantly also strive to improve the buildings and to make them better accessible. That building on the end is our old main building, which is actually where the law faculty is located, and that building has also been made accessible over the years. And then we spoke about assistive technologies and devices. Here we have some examples of what we typically use. And these technologies are software mainly that helps students to actually hear the text that's on the screen. So if you are blind, you can use JAWS as an example, and this will enable you to hear what is on your screen. There are also others like ZoomText that can make visibility better. We have induction loop systems in some of our newer venues, and that students who are deaf would use to assist them with hearing better within the class context. Domino Pro is also a gadget that enhances hearing in a class context or in a workroom context. And then we have Read and Write at the bottom, which assists students that struggle with reading. So they're not visually impaired or hearing impaired, but they can be enabled to actually read a lot better given all the different sort of techniques that the software can allow. So these are some of the technologies that are accessible and available that students can use at the university. Some more is the induction loop system, which I've just mentioned. So that you would see that it would have a symbol in some of the rooms that would indicate that that room is looped and can actually assist you with hearing, with some adjustments also to your hearing aid. We also have in the middle, particularly for students who don't live on campus, which is actually the majority of the students who actually come in and they commute. They have access to hubs, so all students are divided into clusters, and there are areas on campus where you can go and heat up your food if that's what you want to do, or just to hang out, or just to relax, or also just to meet up with other students. So every student on campus can have a place to go during the day in between the classes, or if they want to meet up with other students. And you will be informed of this when you start your studies at Stellenbosch. And then on the right you will see the Braille room, which is where students who use JAWS, for example, and ZoomText, they have access to those technologies there. And at this stage, I'm going to hand over to my colleague Louija Nicholas, who will speak to you a little bit about the training and awareness raising activities at Stellenbosch University.
Okay, thank you, Marsha. So I will just be going through briefly what training and support related to training that we do at the university, both for staff and students, because along with support for students, we're also trying to create awareness around disability inclusion and also how we can make our spaces inclusive of students and staff with disabilities. So firstly, we do have a lot of workshops for students. One of our main workshops tailored to the student needs is our Lead with Disability program. And this program is made up of different topics relating to disability like universal access, universal design, meeting people with disabilities, how to engage with someone with a disability, and also just giving students a toolkit on how to create an inclusive space wherever they end up after university as well. We also do training with our student leaders on campus. So our current student leaders or future student leaders will get training through us around disability inclusion, especially if they have to work with students with disabilities in their residence spaces, in their societies, in their academic spaces. So we help the students just to understand how they can be inclusive of students within their spaces. We also have tailored sessions for staff around the same principles on how staff can be inclusive of students with disabilities. And as Marsha mentioned, we do have a vast variety of students with different disabilities. So we try to be as inclusive as possible, and also just to give staff and students a toolkit on how to be inclusive. And then we also have a lot of campaigns or marketing material around disability inclusion, and we do campaigns throughout the year like Casual Day, or we'll do tailored campaigns around a certain topic like service dogs or accessibility. So it does depend on what the need is at the university, and we will create some information and education around those needs. And then lastly, we also have our student volunteer program. So we do have a lot of students who like to volunteer or assist us with these programs and with the workshops and different events. So we are very fortunate to have students that are very passionate about disability inclusion as much as we are at the disability unit. So lastly, I just want to mention our contact details. We are available via email. You can email us at disability@sun.ac.za. If you have any questions around disability, as a prospective student, what to do, residences and anything like that, you can contact us. We're also available on Instagram and Facebook at SU Disability Unit, so you can follow us and learn more information about the services that we offer at the disability unit, meet our staff, but also get some information around disabilities and different types of disabilities and the different campaigns that we have throughout the year. And you can also visit us on our website, on the SU website, Disabilities. So yeah, thank you so much, and we hope to see you in the next year, and I hope you do choose Stellenbosch University as your university of choice. Thanks.